Today's topic of discussion is the circus that is living in Nigeria. Nigeria will be popular news now because of how the buffoon in the White House was talking about how he was going to come and bulldoze Nigeria to help the Christians, and some circus acts, some clowns, they were responding positively towards that stupid directive that by like, oh, come and help us here. We don't know how to do anything here. Come and help us. And I'm so glad that an overwhelming majority of Nigerians, spoke against such directive, and we also got commentary from like people living in other countries laughing and saying, no way, don't do this to Nigeria, all of those kind of things. So hopefully, um, with his attention span, he has forgotten about that. But that is just like, it's just a preface, to say Nigeria is, buzzing right now online for that reason. Usually, we'll be buzzing about Afrobeats, which I think is just a bastardization of the immense vastness of Nigerian made music. Moving into Afrobeat, yeah. Now let's talk about the music scene in Nigeria. Now on to the topic of this video. There is this guy talking about Afrobeat in the vein of Afrobeat. There's this let's not say world class, but like very famous music video director, named TG Omori. TG stands for Thank God. And I don't know, a lot of people were like very like having the time of their life, like laughing at the name here when they found out that TG means thank God. But like in secondary school, I had a classmate, not a classmate, but it was in another department, but in the same year, his name was Thank God. So it's not shocking to me. TG Omori, this period has like, I think he had this health issue, where he needed a kidney. Um, and you think with TJ Mori's wealth, uh, status in society as a very famous, sought after music video director by all the big names in Nigerian music industry, like Davido, Wizkid, Asake, Burna Boy, stuff like that. Even I think Odumodu Black. Odumodu is not big in my eyes, so he's just very popular right now, sensational. So but like a lot of acts use him for their music videos, and I'm sure it's any big box, and he's hanging with stars and all of that. So like him coming forward on Twitter and like crying for help, with a kidney, looking for a kidney donor, because his kidney had health issues, whatever. So he needed a kidney donor. And there was a lot of, as Nigerians do, they pray, blah, blah, blah. And some of his paddies, what we call friends, I think Davido's contributed. I think one other big man contributed. First of all, I want you to know that I don't like to interact with the celebrity culture in this country, because it doesn't make sense to me that a class of people with so much wealth, access, and visibility, stand for nothing. They have not done anything to make the lives of people easier, aside of, oh, let's play a song that you can dance and forget about your problem for 3 minutes, or let's do party in December so everybody can come and claim to have seen my show. Like, I don't really care for the celebrity culture in this country. I think the less I know about them, the better. But I could not avoid this TJ Morris own. Like, brother was really in desperate straits, and there were a lot of pleas on his behalf. Nigerians were praying for him, as Nigerians do. Nigerians, what do you call it, when they cannot give you money to help you, or when they cannot equip you with skills you need to survive, when the government cannot give you a job, when your constituency chairman cannot make your life easier, what do they tell you? They tell you to go and pray. They tell you, and your pastors, instead of encouraging you to develop problem solving skills or encouraging entrepreneurship or something like that, they ask you to pay tithe and fast for 5 days out of the week, and pray and cry and sweat to God. But all of that to say a lot of Nigerians were praying for him and all of that. So I think the way the thing was resolved was that because he's still alive, so I think it was resolved. The way what I heard was that he got a donor in his own brother. So his brother donated one of his kidneys to him. Just Nigerians, place a lot of value on family, and so his brother doing that, a lot of people were coming along with this sentiment of course his brother should have done it for him. And it's like, I'm not of that sentiment. Yeah, his brother does not owe him dialect. His brother does not owe him his kidney, any of his kidneys. TJ Omori lived a lifestyle that led to the deterioration of his kidneys. You understand? And his brother made a choice not to. And I think the conditions for being able to receive of a kidney that will be viable for donation is one that's not been affected by alcohol abuse and drugs and all of that. Something that TJ Omori is very proud of talking about on his Twitter page. If you go to his Twitter page, he talks a lot about enjoying weed and eating a after weed and how weed is God's gift and how he cannot survive without weed. So my point is, I was not of that sentiment. His brother did not owe him a kidney. I feel like he has a duty for the rest of his life to care for that kidney and to always hold his brother in an esteem where, wow, you did this for me, not that you should have done this for me. Obviously, I don't know their family dynamics. Maybe his brother was the beneficiary of his wealth and his fame, and brother enjoyed some benefits of, I don't know, traveling abroad and hanging out with celebrities. I don't know. I've never seen his brother. Like I said, I don't pay attention to celebrity culture, but I don't think any amount of money can buy somebody's willingness to give you one of their kidneys. So I can't say it's equal, but a lot of Nigerians might make that equation that Shebi is enjoying his brother's wealth, so of course he should fess up with a kidney. And like, shut the fuck up, you don't know anything about being in position of being a donor. So I want to bring up on this kidney issue is that the major reason why TJ Omori could survive this intense, very very life-threatening health issue is just because of his level of access. There was a lot of visibility onto his issue. There was a lot of attention, like people were donating money, big men were donating money, people were bringing up the issue in public spaces, public discussions, and there was just noise about it. That is just one person in this country of almost 20 million, maybe 200 million people. I'm sure there are plenty more kidney people that have died from this exact same health issue. In fact, I think that is what has killed like several celebrities in the past. Those celebrities, they were very crucial, like foundational to our childhood growing up. I think there was one actress, what's her name, that fair woman, and she had kidney failure, and she could not get help on time. She didn't have money, she didn't have visibility anymore. She was just like her status as a celebrity was just something of a relic of the past, and so obviously that does not translate to their later years. I don't think Nollywood pays actors and actresses such in such a way that they can retire comfortably. A lot of them end up in penury. A lot of them end up with in depression. Like a lot of them end up very very bad situation, bad state. And I don't know, I think that's a conversation we need to have, about celebrities we grew up with as children. That where are they now? Is there any way the community can contribute to their well-being? Obviously it's not the job of like we the consumers, but I feel like just because they're a citizen of Nigeria, I feel like every Nigerian should be given crucial attention by the federal government, by the government, by the president, through policies, health policies. Our healthcare system is in shambles in this country. Just a few weeks ago, some like nurses in Enugu or one state, they all came out in droves to protest, to have a strike that they're not being paid well. Nurses, one of them was talking about how like she has not done her hair, she can't even think of doing her hair because she doesn't have money. A nurse, A nurse, do you know how much they're paying nurses abroad? Come on, UK here, do you know how much they're paying nurses? Okay, nurses that are not even doing half of the job that the nurses in this country do. Do you know how much they're paying them? And here they're barely hanging on. They're barely hanging on. Say all of that to say, Teacher Omori is privileged. Okay, thank God Omori, the music video director, number one in Africa or whatever this he was pointing out on his Twitter. He is privileged. He has money. He has fame. He has influence. Okay, he has influence. Okay, so now here is the crux of my video. So Teacher Omori this past weekend, he made a tweet. Same gender sex is evil. Evil. And with what I've said so far about how Nigerians believe in prayer, evil was an intentional adjective. Okay, he chose that adjective specifically to stir up religious paranoia, religious psychosis about queer people, as if that doesn't already exist by itself. Like homophobia and hate crimes against any kind of queer person in this country is thriving. The market is booming. I mean, I think last month there are pictures of men that were in graphic pictures of men that were hunted down by a specific group that goes into these square people spaces, trick them to believe they are gay, get their trust. And then when these people eventually meet up, they come to meet a mob of other men that beat them within an inch of their life and throw them down from a two-story building. And I think they don't survive. Most of them don't survive. Number one, like I said, healthcare. So you see, healthcare is important. These men don't survive. This poor person just die, just like that, just like that. And when the news, when the picture comes, when such news comes onto, our public space of Twitter, Nigerian Twitter, I can't like the response towards such crimes is very there's a level of sympathy. I don't know if it's sympathy or pity. It's definitely not empathy. Sha. There's this pity that people just express. They say things like, even homophobic people say things like, they're just minding their business. What concern you? It's not your business who somebody have sex with. And this is consensual sex, between consenting adults. Like, why do you feel the need to hunt them down? Also, what are you doing in queer people's spaces? What kind of conversations are you having to the extent that these people trust you enough, to show up and to risk their safety to show up because of a potential love match and all of that with you? You get that kind of thing. So there's a lot of, general pity. People just because it's not easy, I feel like, for any human being to see another human being killed in such a way with graphic pictures and imageries and all of that. But within those comments, you get shitty comments as shitty tweets like, oh, hey, yeah, like I said, pity, hey, yeah, if only he did not go after men. If only he did not, if only he was normal, if only he was a normal child. This is somebody's child, if only, they believed in God in such a way that, they don't give themselves over to the devil, to be having sex with men or women to have sex with women and all of that. Like, let's not even begin to talk about how several mob justice has happened to women who are like attacked in privacy of their dorms, and they're naked, they are sexually assaulted by a mob of men, always men. A mob of men, sometimes women, but mostly men do this witch hunting, and they assault these two women and they shame them and they put their pictures, naked pictures online, and it's just so commonplace. Hate crimes. Another one that I remember was last year that really triggered me. I saw this trans, or let's not say trans because they were not, but they went by a female pseudonym, a female nickname, and I think that person was mostly a drag queen, or somebody that loves cross dressing, a cross dresser. And we have a very popular cross dresser. We have two, in fact, popular cross dressers, and they managed to escape this witch hunt, because of what their access to money and visibility and just the privilege of being seen by the entire populace of the country. I think because those men, those cross dressers, made it in the sense of were able to escape from poverty and the um, dangerous situation of living with your family and being queer in this country. I think it's kind of encouraged a lot of other cross dressers or feminine presenting men that were interested in, I don't know, almost trans. I think there's no such thing as almost trans, or maybe there is, I don't know. But basically the whole popularity of these popular cross dressers and their success, when I mean success, they just have a lot of money and Instagram fame, I think it kind of encourage other men to like try, other men that are also queer, to try to come out and live their truth. But the thing is, like, in a country that recently criminalized homosexuality, that is a dangerous game. That is a 50-50 in the air game you're playing with your life, basically. And I know the thing about gender, especially, and gender expression, is that there's something called gender dysphoria. And if you cannot express yourself, your gender, what you really see yourself as, it gets to the point where you feel like committing suicide. Yeah, it gets to the point where you want to kill yourself, where you want to like just cut your body and walk out of your body and just like be free. So I wouldn't blame those men for taking that risk of expressing, living openly, in such a country like this, as this one. So I'm getting back to TJ Omorio, relax. So this particular person, I think her name was Christina or something, something Queen. Anyways, the men that mobbed her, that hate crime her, left her body in the street, you know, beating, her face was beaten in beyond recognition, like she was smushed to a pulp and her body was just left in the street. There was no fear of repercussion, there was no fear of a police investigation, there was no fear of her family speaking up on her behalf, there was nothing. Okay, there was nothing. And that's just the reality of queer people in this country. Yeah, that's just the horror of being queer in Nigeria. There's nothing for you. And this is a known fact. This is something that we see periodically. In fact, it's so often now um, on internet spaces that, oh, this person just died. Oh, this person just died. Oh, this person is hanging on for their life. Just thinking about it, I feel like crying. And that is just like hating homophobia and hate crime of queer people in this country is as normal as the blue of the sky. And so, TJ Omori, after surviving his kidney wahala, now fixed his lips to tweet, of his fingers to tweet, same gender sex is evil. Can you imagine, with all this barbarian I've given, can you imagine the level of vitriol that was meted out after this tweet? Already there's vitriol. But for somebody as influential as he is to endorse such hatred, for somebody as influential as he is to endorse such hatred, like, do you know how rapid these people became? I think what I saw in the tweet was that somebody was like, between the time he posted and yesterday, one man had lost his life. Somebody I was speaking to about it said that because I could not go through the quotes. It was just sad, and triggering. But several people were doxxed for speaking against how same gender sexism, and several people were doxxed, for quoting him and calling him out on his nonsense. Several people were doxxed and they were called gay without any proof, simply for standing up for queer people in this country. And if you as a man, you are called gay in this country, that's a death sentence. That's a death nail hanging over your head, following you everywhere you go, and finding you in real life to take your life. So he did that. He did that and he cleaned his mouth. And next thing you know, he was talking about his fugly eyewear line. Those shit are probably made in a sweatshop. This is my opinion, okay? This is my opinion. I'm never going to buy such trash, okay? Plastic, I'm sure. Plastic, this is my opinion, okay? I have no proof, so I'm just stating opinions. Whatever, man. Your glasses are fucking ugly. They're ugly. And obviously, you have no artistic vision behind it. You just want to make money. So you escaped the horror of a health scare despite living your life as recklessly as possible, despite smoking weed and having alcohol, you know, like water, you escape that. To what? To what? To spread evil. Now that I've gotten to the point of the video, which is that Tito Amaro is a piece of shit for doing that. Um, let's not talk about the backlash from what he did, if there was even any. I have a black body, sorry, a white body. I just bought it like on my birthday to celebrate my brain. So when he said that, when he posted that ugly tweet, there's this mag called Zikoko mag, and I'm not a fan of Zikoko and what they put out here. But when I went through their reading their article and going through their whatever, I began to be like, okay, I'll allow it. They are very proudly behind queer people. They are for queer voices. They're not afraid to, you know, speak up for queer people. So I don't care. I'm behind them. I think they got their fame from posting all of this gossip kind of gist to be like heterosexual relationships and the idiocy that goes on within heterosexual relationships. So moving on, Sikoko Mag is the kind of mag that people send in their relationship problems, and they talk about, and it's always very wild. Like it's always wild shit you read on Zikuku. Like you never ever see a normal situation. You're always met with, why are you still in this relationship? But Zikuku spoke up for queer people. Zikuku spoke up and wrote an article which I will read. Maurice tweet is proof that influence comes with responsibilities. Words are not innocent, especially when wielded by the famous. Over the course of a single weekend, TG Omori's tweet sparked a wave of reactions online. What some people have brushed off as just a personal opinion ended up inspiring others to repeat harmful language about queer people. When someone with a large platform such as 2.3 million followers on X shares a view, even casually, it can influence how others behave. The entire debacle reveals a bigger issue in the Nigerian entertainment space, where homophobic comments often turn into moments of clout, engagement, and culture shaping conversations. Behind the barrage of replies and quote tweets, there was something more insidious than moralizing hate, a product promotion. As the public uproar grew, Tujamori was simultaneously promoting a new line of glasses. In the attention economy, outrage often equals profit. For celebrities, controversy can drive engagement, and engagement can be converted into sale. So you see the picture of the Fangolo glasses. This isn't an isolated event, whether it's subtle hints in lyrics or outright harmful comments in interviews. Studio Maurice Street falls into a long pattern of homophobic messaging from some Nigerian entertainers. When queerness is described as evil, it sends a signal that discrimination is acceptable, making it easier for people to use hate as content and as a way to stay relevant. TJ Omori calling same gender sex evil isn't just a careless insult. Framing it as a moral opinion gives his words a kind of false legitimacy, making the harm easier to excuse. As a public figure, TG's influence amplifies his statement as a creative and entrepreneur. The resulting outrage fuels his brand, and all the while, queer Nigerians are left exposed to the ensuing blowback, both online and in real life. They clearly spelled out, exactly what the implications of Teacher Maurice tweet meant. And they called him out on his nonsense. They called him out on, and they actually exposed the reason why he made that tweet. Yeah, allegedly, Baba wants to sell eyeglasses, and I don't think he cares about the eyeglasses as an artist or as a creator or some artistic shit like that. I think he just wants to make money. And I think I saw some kind of screenshot which I'm going to post about the prices of those glasses. Imagine glasses selling it for 300k, nothing less than 300,000 naira. I don't know if this screenshot is accurate, but that was what I saw. The Google clocked it that immediately after making that tweet, that tweet, the last time I saw it had like 11,000 quotes and 34,000 likes. I don't, and he has 2.3 million followers. Yeah. So Tikuku posted that thing And the article, they were like, they spelled the correlation between his hate tweets and the fugly glasses he just launched, yeah, and he's like he just wanted to bring attention to his fugly glasses. That was all. He himself, I'm sure he knows that that shit is not, nobody's allowing that shit to fly. It's so ugly. They're so ugly. All of them are so ugly. And it's just like four designs that were on the page or whatever. So, anyways, the Coco called him out, and laid it there. Now, what? Tell me why TJ Mori went to quote the Zikoko mag and tag them, and and it was like, I am just stating my truth. Basically, I don't, maybe I'll post a screenshot of the tweet, but basically what he was saying was that Zikoko sent the backlash of the global community that they serve. What do you mean global community? You mean queer voices? Oh, I'm glad you understand that. Just because the Bible called the Clown Act, the Circus Act called Nigeria, has criminalized homosexuality, and they validate and appreciate and applaud and revere hate criming ordinary people living in their own country. Doesn't mean everybody's insane like you. Doesn't mean everybody's batshit crazy like you. I mean, the world does not revolve around you. Hateful Nigerians, like, wake up, smell the roses. Okay, there are people out there with more open minds than, like, who are more open minded than your ass. Despite all the money, despite all the exposure, you are still so narrow minded that you think shit like this is going to get you a first class ticket to heaven, bro. If you really wanted to, if you really loved God, why don't you just allow yourself to just go when your kidney failed? Like, if you are just being like, oh, I'm going to heaven, let me just go. Abby, why did you fight so hard to remain on earth? And after fighting so hard to remain on earth, and you succeeded at, staying, living more years on this earth, you now decide that you're the one that is going to send people out of this earth with your hate speech. And that is where I want to bring out the fact that he called them out, like he called the Coco Mag out, that for their level of influence. He says he describes them as a media house. He's targeting me, and I've gotten so many death threats. And it's like, you are lying. You are lying. And even if you got death threats, yeah, majority of the quotes and the comments were on your side. They said yes, they were championing you. They were saying, I stand with TJ Mori, I stand with the truth, I stand with God. Like it's some kind of like you are some kind of oppressed group. I mean, you say same gender sex is evil. Tell me how people that are having sex with the same gender, tell me how they stopped you from going to church. Tell me how they've caused maybe Redeem to close down. Oh, the homosexuals burnt down a Redeem branch. Is that what you want to tell me? Tell me and show me proof. Because I don't know what you mean by I stand for the truth. And also he now went on to quote the homosexual like criminal act, yeah, where it's like it is illegal. It is illegal for people to, like, idiot. We already heard the declaration, like, well, not anybody could do about it. Okay, nobody's going to walk up to Aso Rock and say, Baba, we don't even have any like active, visible queer voice activism in this country. Yeah, enough to be like, oh, they will even show their face and they will not get killed mass like immediately, like they will not get hate crime immediately. Yeah, we don't even have the luxury of such groups existing in the open spaces, existing in public spaces. So tell me how the Coco just calling you out on your nonsense and calling you out for your marketing ploy. Yeah, tell me how that is going to affect your business. Explain to me. Explain to me how it's going to affect your pastor. Also, talking about illegality, is it not illegal to smoke weed in this country? Is it not illegal to smoke weed in this country? Talking about how I know my God, blah blah blah. Your God did not tell you. Did your God not tell you about premarital sex? I'm sure there's something about premarital sex in the Bible, which I'm sure you have. Okay, but that one no jail. That one God will understand, but God will not understand homosexuality. No, 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 no. You have to kill homosexuals. You have to convert them. You have to kill them or you convert them. They cannot live real lives. God will not allow it, but God will allow you to have premarital sex and forgive you for cheating on your spouses. I'm not saying to you you're married cheated on anybody, but I'm just saying like most of the people that are speaking online, against homosexuals, yeah, they get away with everything in their God's eyes once they can ask for forgiveness, maybe. But homosexual people cannot get away with shit. They have to die. They have to be haunted for sport. They have to be killed, hate crime in the street, with no repercussions, and also be criminalized by the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So I don't know the hypocrisy stinking in his tweet where it was like mobilizing the global community against me. And then he now said something very, very stupid when he was like, my customers come to me because they see the light inside of me and they are attracted to the light. So that's why they patronize me. Oh my God, shut up. Like, you are a grown man. I checked his date of birth. You're 1995. Guy, you are 30 years old. What kind of, how, like, with all your exposure, your privilege, you're still talking like this? Your customers are your lights, the light of God in you. Your customers, are they the random man on the street that goes around looking for gay men to kill? Is that where your customer base is coming from? Is that where it's coming from? Of course not. Of course not. The average Nigerians are sparking up rage within them. Those are average Nigerians that make life hell for average Nigerian queer folks. They are not going to buy your glasses. They're not going to buy it. They can't afford it. They can't even afford to eat and, keep a roof over their head. So why did you feel the need to say that shit? Huh? The people that are going to buy your glasses, there are people that make the same type of money that you do, where they can just dump 300k on top one glass that they will not wear, they will only wear occasionally. So why the hell did you feel like drumming up average Nigerians already existing vitriol to a greater degree to kill other average Nigerians? The thing about people like TJ Omori is that they are very ignorant to the class dynamics that exist in this country. Also, they pretend to be ignorant about the benefits of being in their economic class and their social class. Like, you're literally above the average Nigerians, that you are incentivizing hate and vitriol within to kill other average Nigerians so that people will be talking about your shitty thermal glasses. That's basically what you are doing. That's basically what you did. That's basically what you did. I don't want to bring up the idea of, oh, you've not done any activism in your past. Even if you've not done any activism in your past, why not just shut the fuck up and focus on your business? Mind the business that pays. Let's talk about the whole idea of being a minority, of being an oppressed group. You do understand that as a Nigerian, your biggest oppressor is your government, yeah? The thing about the elite, like I said, this country is a circus. The thing about the people that earn big money in this country is that they are so short-sighted and ignorant, because they've bought into this falsehood that having a lot of money, accumulating wealth, is going to save you from the inherent systemic poverty that fuels this country. All of you will feel it, okay? And I'm sure you are already feeling it. I'm sure you are already feeling it. It is the same way Donald Trump, like I started this conversation, the same way Donald Trump can come and say he wants to bulldoze Nigeria, when we all know damn well is the news of how Dangote's refinery is producing the largest number of barrels, it's part of the biggest producers of refiners of oil, something like that, yeah. And if Donald Trump comes in one night, Dangote is going to lose all of that shit. I can bet you that one night, his wealth, his status, his class is not going to protect him from the evil machinations of a white man, of a white colonialist, of a white settler. And that's just the way the world is set up. That is just the way the world is set up. Money cannot buy you entrance into the class of the most privileged people in this world, which is what? Which is who? The white man. The white man can take your money away from you under any bogus reason, under any excuse, simply because they have set up the system to be that way. So now you, TJ Omori, why are you in this class of people? To the extent where, despite how famous and influential and everything you were, you had to beg. You had to cry. You had to, like, you reach levels of desperation. Okay, levels of desperation just to get to be afforded what premium healthcare. Your access to fame could not buy you that privilege. And so, can you see that you're not very different from this group of people that you are telling your truth about? You are not different. You are not different. In one night, everything can be taken away from you. That is how systemic poverty works. There's no protection for you, especially in this country. There's no protection for the average man in this country. So you have money, you can buy, a way, so you can buy yourself freedom from some of the, you know, direct impacts. But trust me, systemically, you can't escape it. And I'm sure that is why you are making your Sheen glasses. You can't save yourself with more money, will not save you from the way the system is set up. And it's just like when you think about it here, in the moment where you eventually end up as a marginalized group, I'm sure you go abroad. Abroad is nothing to your type of people. And I'm sure when you go abroad, there's a level of racism you encounter, there's a level of discrimination you encounter. And all you can do is just what? Film. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't change it. You're alone, you're by yourself. The only thing you can do is comfort yourself with what? The money and how much you are better than the average Nigerian. That is why a lot of Nigerian artists, no matter how big they get, when you check their lyrics, it still screams of I don't know, what do you call this kind of thing where you want to, it still screams poser energy. Like, I know, Davido, you have billions of dollars. I know you do. Why do I need to be reminded all the time? It's kind of like a self-soothing mechanism. I think most of this, like, Afrobeat giants use to like soothe themselves when they encounter the ugliness of being a black man, a black African man in spaces where, they work their asses off to get to, you know, like imagine Burna Boy winning the Grammys for that album. You know damn well that was a, I don't know, that was a fluke. That was a fluke. I don't think they're going to give it to him ever again. And I don't think he's ever going to escape. Even if they gave it to him, he'll just be Afrobeat again. He cannot climb into any other category. He can't even climb into R&B category because he's a Nigerian. He's an African. They're not going to let him. Like, Beyonce is there. She just won Best Country Album last year. Is it this year? I don't know. I don't fucking care. And then this year they announced that they are segregating the category so that their white mediocre country artists will not feel threatened by the likes of a black hardworking woman, that makes great country music as well, or even better than they do. So now there is Beyonce facing segregation in this 2025, and there's you, TJ Omori. Why do you think you land on this scale? So I'm basically calling out your position on this scale because you seem to like you're playing ignorant to the fact that the thing that you said, this tweet you said, is going to affect people that cannot even begin to dream of having a quarter of the wealth that you possess, and the access and the visibility and the privilege, all of that. Those people cannot even begin to dream of having such rich in this life. And you have buried them. You have refused them humanity. When you say evil, you don't even say bad. You don't even say, I don't like it. Oh, me, I'm not for the gays. Oh, me, I don't like gay people. I think, it's not for me. Saying all of that, calling them butt boys. I will never be somebody's butt boy. If you now get a contract from a global artist, when I mean global, maybe American facing or European artist, and they say, oh, I like your visuals in this Ashake's video and I want you to do my stuff for me, and they are for the gays, this artist is for the gays, this contract is for the gays, like it's not for the gays. Let's say they're a straight person, straight artist, yeah, and they're like, oh, I want you to do this, but in my music video, I want to show off LGBTQ persons. I want the flag to be flying. I want them to be on the spotlight. Sure, you know, go take them, or you go take them, or you reject it. Swear that you will not take 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 it. Swear that you will not accept such an offer to direct this video. If you are selling those Pangolo glasses for 300k and somebody can give you a job, eh? And that person now sees your tweet, oh, gendered sex, same gender sex is evil, and they're like, oh, I'm not for homophobes. Who will you blame now in this? You say, oh, I was standing for my right. I was fighting for my right. That is my truth. Christians are persecuted all over the world. A man that has never experienced. So it's just like, it's insane because you did that unprovoked. You know? Will I say unprovoked? You did it unprovoked because I wanted to sell glasses. I don't know. Maybe you could have brought up something, you know, but if you had brought up any real issue affecting Nigerians, affecting the average Nigerian that will never touch you in this life anymore, they would have been like, oh, that's soulless. You're using, you know, the horror of the country to sell your product. So that's why he now used what, a punching bag, Nigeria's punching bag, where people to sell your fugly glasses. Homophobia in Nigerian pop music. TJ's tweet may have brought the issue into the spotlight, but he's far from the first person in Nigerian entertainment to recognize anti-queer sentiment. The weekend's viral moment also highlights the double standard embedded in Nigerian pop culture. Nigerian pop culture borrows heavily from queer aesthetics with androgynous styling, flamboyant fashion, and gender-bending choreography, frequently appearing in music videos, performances, and album visuals. TJ would know this, yet it cannot exist safely in the bodies of the people who are actually queer. When it comes to queer people living in Nigeria, the same artists often condemn, dehumanize, or ridicule them. This incident underscore a troubling pattern of mainstream artists profiting from queer people's talent to further their careers, but distancing themselves from them when it comes to moral or social acceptance. This trend reflects a broader cultural hypocrisy. TG's tweet is a stark example of this duality. Someone who has helped shape the visually expressive creative culture, weaponizing homophobia when it serves his interest. TG Omori's weekend provocation illustrates a culture where exploitation, stigmatization, and condemnation coexist. This is common in Nigeria, where moral grandstanding carries enormous weight in social and political life, but is also a dangerous one. Many queer Nigerians are themselves religious, and using faith as a weapon erases their identities while giving societal sanction to their discrimination. When a powerful creator with a voice uses his platform to spew hate, it's not just stirring conversation, he's creating permission for hatred. This is so apt. Like, this is just like perfect. This is eloquent. This is everything that and more. And I'm so happy that a space, a media house like Zikoko exists. Continuing on, each public condemnation of queerness from an influencer or musician sends a signal that it's socially acceptable to dehumanize queer people. That signal enables real life harassment, violence, and stigma. In a country where same sex relationships are criminalized under the Same Sex Marriage Prohibition Act, words are not harmless, they have real world consequences. By cloaking commercial ambition in moral outrage, TJ Omori's weekend provocation did more than offend. It put a target on the backs of queer Nigerians and tossed them into a sick marketing cycle. Queer people in Nigeria are left navigating an ecosystem where visibility can equal vulnerability and artistic influence can be deployed as a tool of harm. The fact that a marketing ploy about glasses became a vehicle for moral condemnation and public shaming illustrates the stakes. This TJ Omori episode is another cautionary tale about the discrimination and power dynamics embedded in Nigeria's entertainment and creative industry. When homophobic statements are spewed loosely, the people paying the price aren't really the influencers or artists, but the marginalized communities whose lives, safety, and dignity are reduced to collateral damage. Words are not innocent, especially when wielded by the famous. They amplify prejudice, inspire harassment, and leave lasting scars. Anyways, I don't know. I just wanted to express my disgust for him. I wanted to express how much he sucks. You're just going to see it in front of you because you're not different from the person you are stepping on. The people that you are denying their humanity, the people that you have unleashed your ugly fan base upon with vitriol, the bigotry and intolerance and hateful, spiteful nonsense energy you've released through that tweet is going to come around to meet you because one thing about hate, especially against somebody in your racial category, it does not discriminate. A white queer person has more rights than you do, has more privilege, has more access to resources than you do, the black African man. And no amount of money and fame and success is going to buy you into that class, into that place of, you know, success. Nothing, nothing can ever get you that. So continue continue like crushing on marginalized people. And when I mean crush, I mean like literally stepping on them, continue stepping on them, continue dehumanizing them, continue spreading hatred and bigotry towards them, continue calling them bot boys and all of that. You're going to see it in front of you. That one is not cause, it's just a fact of life. If you've not already seen it. And good luck selling those your pangolo glasses. Those your Temu rejects. Continue sell. Good luck selling them. I will not be buying. I don't even want to. Anyways, that's just my opinion.